Hello and welcome to Soul in Balance, the place to get your regular solar system news. So if you'd like to stay up to date with the cosmic weather, make sure you subscribe. So in this video, we're going to be going over the full moon in Pisces that will be happening on the 14th of September, and it will be a super cosmic full moon indeed, as it's going to be joining Neptune. So what is going on at the moment? As always, it's intense because that is just what the times are these days. So it's a time of being really critical on ourselves. It's a time of not seeing the truth. It's a time of reprogramming our mind and changing our old belief systems. It's a time of processing some old childhood stuff, processing generational and bloodline trauma. There is so much going on. There could even be some extra talking in relationships as we move forward from this full moon, as Venus and Mercury will be in Libra as we move forward, and that will be indicating that we need to be having some serious chats in relationships. And that can also mean employment, it can mean with friends, it can mean with family, but it is a time of communicating our needs and what we really want, finding balance within all our connections. So stay tuned and I'll bring you the report. Okay, so Pisces full moon. So yes, this full moon will be happening on the 14th of September, and if you're in Australia, it will be happening on, I think it's 2:32 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Alrighty, so let's get down to it. Pisces. What is Pisces? Pisces is the collective consciousness. It is the ether. It is spirituality. It's the cosmic womb. It's the soul realms. It's, religion. It's unconditional love. It's creativity, poetry, addictions, asylums. Like, there's many aspects to Pisces. It is very the unformless. It's illusions as well. So at this time, we need to be releasing those aspects of Pisces. And the best thing to do is to find out where this falls in your birth chart, because that will indicate what area of life you're going to be affected. But this video is on the collective and what we are going through on a collective level. So at this time, what we need to do is to look at the polarity point, and the polarity point is Virgo, where the sun is, and also with the sun is Mars, Venus, and Mercury. So this is opposite this full moon, and so what we're needing to do is to, integrate those parts of Virgo, which Virgo is bringing something into form, making it work, making it function. Is it functioning correctly? How can we use discernment? What can we get rid of so it does function properly? So what can we release in Pisces to make it into form? So at this time, we might have to be, doing something about our spiritual journey. We might have to be, starting a career, doing what we actually really want, what we're passionate about. There's a lot of people in the spiritual community that are too afraid to start a business in this area, even though it's something that they're so passionate about and their life is so wrapped around it. They still are stuck in the 9 to 5 and working a 9 to 5, thinking that's the only way to make money. But I think it's getting to a point now where it's just becoming unbearable being part of the rat race. So yeah, definitely at this time, I think if you're one of those people that haven't taken that step forward to, do something about what really makes your heart sing, this is the time to do it. And it's also a time to be bringing our ideas into form as well. Like, Pisces is really connecting to all the spirit realms. It's, connecting to different dimensions and many other aspects, our past lives. It's connecting to other souls. It's connecting to all this etheric information, the Akashic records. We really need to be, tapping into that information and then bringing it into form. So we need to kind of be focusing on creating something so it's real. But at the same time, we need to be also looking at escapism. because it has been tough. We've been in Virgo season. It has been crazy. Like everywhere I go, there's people fighting, there's people blaming each other. It's your fault. No, it's yours. You've done all this. And I think we've all done it, like, this month. I think the important thing is just to make sure that we're stopping and reflecting and taking responsibility for the stuff that's been coming up, because obviously, we've had bloodline stuff come up. We've had generational trauma come up. We've had our childhood stuff come up, so we can actually see it. So I think it's important that after some blaming has been done, because I think we've all done it, that we stop and take ownership of our stuff and think about, where does it come from? Where does it stem from? Like just being a bit of the detective, wanting to know why has this happened? Why have these thoughts come up? Why have these feelings come up? And, this is all integrating with what's going on right now. And with all this stuff that's being brought up, all this trauma and all this negativity of Virgo season, because Virgo is like pinpoint precision. It's just like laser beam, like looking at something to see if it's functioning, and that can be too much of a harsh eye. It can be too critical about what's going on. So then a lot of people want to escape. So we can see escapism, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whether it's sex, whether it's food, whether it's movies or whatever, it is that some people like to use to escape. So it's not a time to be escaping, like this is what's, really being highlighted at this full moon. Yes, things are critical. Yes, things are hard, but it's not a time to escape. It's a time to just keep doing the work. Like no matter how hard it is, just one foot in front of the other. And sometimes when we take a step forward, we go 3 steps back, and that is normal. It's okay. It's part of the process, but it's making us stronger and how we need to be moving forward. Because when we get to the start of next year in January in 2020, when Pluto and Saturn meet each other, this is when things are just really going to change. And what we're learning and what we're working on right now is really going to help us to get to that point in January. So yes, it just really is a tough time, and I think we need to just be really understanding of ourselves, and an understanding, we've had those solar flares, and we've had this critical Virgo season as well, but it's also we can just get rid of what's not functioning, and it also does highlight our health, focusing on health, detoxing and what we're eating. But I really don't want to get into the health side, because I think every single astrologer has touched on the detoxing and the health stuff and what we're eating. I would rather focus on the emotional stuff and the digestion of the emotional stuff, so we can be who we need to be and focus on what's really important right now. So yes, emotionally, I just think we're all feeling a little bit lost. We have had the Sun and Mercury joining together as Mercury went past the Sun, which is kind of takes over the aspect of Mercury. So then Mercury feels like it can't communicate. So we might have felt like we couldn't really talk about what's going on, but that is being lifted right now as Venus and Mercury are connecting, and then they'll be going into Libra together. So this will also help with relationships. If you've really struggled with relationships over the last couple of weeks, or you and your partner, or you and your friends, or you and your work colleagues have really struggled lately, there is going to be time to communicate this stuff, because Libra is about bringing about balance. And obviously, if there's issues, there's an imbalance in relationships, in our circumstances, no matter what area of life. So yes, realistically, that is what's going on right now. And another important thing that I mentioned in my video last week, which was the September energy update, where I talked about the solar flares that came on to the planet the end of August. So the effect of these solar flares can last a couple of weeks on a cellular level. So this is stuff like irritability, insomnia, feeling lethargic, being anxious, having anxiety, feeling really wired, just feeling out of control mentally and emotionally. And, this is kind of helped bring up a lot of this purging that's going on with Virgo. So that can be just like the spewing and the vomiting of the blaming and the negativity and all that stuff that's been going on lately. So with that, we really need to just be going through this stuff, and like I said just before, like, being like a detective and seeing where it comes from. Why did I say that? Where does that pain stem from? What does it really mean? Like really dissecting things and understanding where the source really comes from and how to heal that, and then express what you need, whether it's in relationships or friendships or with yourself, of what you need now moving forward. And also another aspect that's really being highlighted at this time that I've been banging on about every week, like I feel like a broken record, is the reprogramming of the mind. Now, like, we are really waking up to our belief systems at this time. Like, if you haven't really asked yourself the question about belief systems, if it hasn't kind of smashed you in the face, then, this is the time to start making that change. Our belief systems are from our subconscious. Our subconscious controls our environment and what we see in our world, 95% of it. So we're operating from a subconscious mind that is programmed the first 7 years of our life. And the only way to change this is to reprogram it. And that does not mean you read all the books and watch all the YouTube videos and blah, blah, blah. We've all done that. Like, it's about going at certain times of the morning and the evening to reprogram the mind. So as you're falling asleep, you can reprogram the mind. As you're waking up, you can reprogram the mind, because that is where the conscious mind is asleep, but the subconscious is still awake and ready to be programmed. So it really is a time to be disciplined and start changing our belief systems. Like, it is really being highlighted right now that we're in control of our life. And I think a lot of things too that I want to kind of talk about with the full moon in Pisces is letting go of our old beliefs around spirituality. Because obviously what the information that was out there was limited. Like back in the day, there wasn't all this information like on YouTube and on the internet and things like that. It's like we were looking at spirituality through a keyhole. And then now we're looking through like a window, with all the information that's being downloaded, with all the eclipses, like with all the ascension processes and, all the stuff that we've been going through, the last few years. We've got this big window of, information now, not just a tiny keyhole. And we need to understand that some of those old spiritual beliefs that we thought were true or resonated don't anymore. We need to start understanding that we're our own gods. We're our own, like master of our destiny. And we need to be taking responsibility, like an understanding that we're in control of our reality, that we just need to change our beliefs. It might be that you don't believe that you can have a good relationship. Well, you need to change your relationship with yourself first. And then start believing that you deserve a good relationship. Everything is a reflection of how we treat ourselves. If we skip out on ourselves when we need ourselves, people are going to do that to us. Like if we're, if we're leaving ourselves to then follow some other partner, that partner's also going to do that to us too. Like it's just crazy how, like, for not generations, for years, people have always thought, oh no, that's just the universe testing you, blah, 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 blah. That is true to some extent. But at the end of the day, we need to start realizing that everything in our reality is what how we see it, is our beliefs, how we treat ourselves. And I think this is really important at this full moon in Pisces, is that we start realizing this and letting go of the old spiritual talk, the old spiritual, understanding of things. Like, for me, I just find that this is really important. And then we can't really be sitting around complaining about our reality anymore and the people that are coming to us and being victims. Yes, we are victims to some degree, but at the end of the day, we're controlling our reality. Like, we can transform this stuff. And I know how hard it is. Like, I've come from, such a childhood abuse and lack and no self-esteem, like narcissistic parents. Like, I understand how hard it is and the work that's involved in reprogramming the mind. But it is worth it. Like, you know what I mean? For the best future that you can have, it is definitely worth it. So I think at this time, if we can, really change our belief systems, because they're really being highlighted right now. Like, if you haven't been getting this information to change your belief systems or something about the things that you believe, then I don't know. I think you've been hiding under a rock. But I just think, at this time, it's really about changing our belief systems, bringing, our ideas and, the new spiritual way of being into form, and, letting go of the stuff, the old escape routes, the old ways that we've survived and our old crutches and, all the old things that we used to do up until this point. Like, we're moving into a new way of life, a new world, a new everything, like after January 2020, our old systems, structures are going to collapse completely. So it's really time that we just start to, get everything moving, start creating those new structures in our lives, even if it's just the foundation for right now, even if it's just analyzing how a process or how you're going to do something's going to work. But just getting those wheels in motion, just taking that first step, I think is what is most important at this time. Now, there's something I really want to talk about with this Pisces full moon, which is religion. Now, I never usually talk about religion. It's just something I don't ever do on my channel or even really in my day-to-day life. I kind of always have believed each to their own. But I think at the moment with this Pisces full moon, it can be a time of letting go of religion stigma and not liking people for their religion. Like, this is really a time where we need to be really evolved and just dropping the crap. Like, however somebody connects to God, source energy, or to the universe, or whatever it is that makes them have faith in something, I really think at this time, at this Pisces full moon, we really need to be letting go of the judging and the criticalness of, all these judgments, and this religion does this and this religion does this. Yes, every single facet of our cultures and our world has good and bad. It doesn't matter what it is, and I think it's really important that we are evolved enough to come to a point where we're all the same. We are all looking to something higher than ourselves to connect to. And it doesn't matter how you connect to that. It's just what suits that individual. And then on another note, I do want to say, yes, I do believe there are a lot of religions that are very oppressing. And I personally don't like that. But that is somebody else's journey, like that's not mine. I think I have been very oppressed in religion in past lives. But in this life, I am not. So I'm not in a position to judge anyone or tell anyone what to do. And there are a lot of people that are heavily involved in religions that are actually trying to navigate their way through, trying to, see what's real for them and what's not. And, maybe some of the old religion beliefs that they've been told maybe don't resonate so much anymore, as we all evolve, because we're all evolving at such a rapid rate You know, like some of these old beliefs aren't suitable for right now. And I think we need to be understanding of people. You know, like just recently I saw a lady post on Facebook who's come from a very religious background, and she's just started to get into astrology. And she was saying that how in Christian faith that it's all against astrology and blah, blah, blah. And she just wants to, somebody to explain to her how how astrology is not evil. And for me, my first thing was the three wise men, like in the whole story of Jesus, were astrologers, and I think we need to be kind and understanding. So instead of bashing this woman and telling her that her religion's terrible, it was about finding a way to connect the two, she wasn't in conflict with herself. But I think we all need to be doing that, and we need to be extending that hand of understanding to everyone and not be hating on different religions and different beliefs. Like, it's really a time where we need to just drop that shit, But yeah, I just had to say that. Like, I'm not really big about talking about religion, but I just think, we just all need to be being compassionate right now. Like, what this world needs the most is compassion and understanding. Because when we feel compassion and feel understood is when we're actually able to heal things. We're actually able to feel connected and be able to move forward. That's what we need more than anything. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly chuck that in there for just for something different. Okay, so now I'll do some cards for this full moon. Righty, so I'll do 3 cards for this full moon. Start with Doreen Virtue. And then again, like Doreen Virtue, like everybody's like hating on Doreen Virtue because she's become more Christian now. Like, that's her journey. None of us know what's happened to her. Like, none of us. Like, I think, there's so many people that are complaining about her and doing YouTube videos about her, and it's just like, really? She's helped all of us get where we are. Like, who are we to be judging her, Like, we don't know what's happened. We live in a world that's controlled by the elite and some really terrible people. We don't know if she's been threatened or not. We don't know anything, so you know what I mean. Like, we don't know what experiences she's had. So I think it's one of the things that I think that's bothering me at the moment is just all the talk about that and just religion and just judging people from that. So it doesn't matter what Doreen's saying. There's something has obviously happened, and we just need to appreciate people for what they offer us, Okay, so I just want to get one more card. I don't know why I'm talking about religion. I think it's because my partner is a different religion to me, so it's just like, oh, maybe I'll talk about religion. Okay, so 3 cards I've got for this week. Self-forgiveness. Okay, we've got achievement and we've got balance. Okay, so self-forgiveness, let go of old guilt and remember that you're God's perfect child. Now, okay, especially right now, especially with this Virgo season, it is so easy to be so critical on ourselves. It is so easy to lose the plot and just say the worst things to our partners, to our friends, to our family, to our colleagues, because we're just so critical of everything, and especially to ourselves. And it is so easy to then start hating ourselves and putting ourselves down and then not accomplishing what we want to accomplish, and then it's just a downhill spiral. So I think it's important to be self-forgiving and forgive ourselves for the stuff that we might have said, for the stuff that we might have done, for the way that we talk to ourselves and the projects that we missed out on, or the opportunities that we missed out on. Like, everything, has its place and everything is for a purpose. But I think the best thing to do right now for this Virgo season and this full moon is to be self-forgiving. Like, forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we've made. Like, we're human. Like, yes, we're a soul having a human experience, but at the end of the day, you know, like, we're doing our best. All of us are doing our best, and all of us are growing at such a rapid rate, and we need to just take it easy on ourselves. You know, like, we're always so hard on ourselves. Like, we should be here, and we should be doing this, and you should have done this better, and blah blah blah. Like, we all do that, you know. Like, so I think, you know, one of the major important things right now is definitely self-forgiveness. Okay, so we've got achievement. Keep focused on your dreams. And this is true. Like, with all the Virgo stuff, it's easy to want to check out. It's easy to want to just go into our fantasies, you know, like go into our romances, or our, you know, going to watch movies constantly, or Netflix, or, you know, just go binge eating, or, yeah, I don't know, go out drinking, whatever you'd like to do. But yeah, it's not a time for that. Like, if we can stay focused on what we want, if we can stay focused on what we truly desire, and just get through the icky, sticky, negative stuff, we're gonna have that achievement. You know, like, Virgo is about work. It's about making it work and making it function. So it's the time that we can actually accomplish what we really want to, you know, like, the earth signs are really big on, you know, getting things done. Like, Taurus just plods along slowly, but it's very stable. You know, Virgo's about sorting it out and making sure it's functioning properly. And then we have Capricorn that's, you know, like, about mastering it. So yeah, I think at this time it really is important to understand that we can achieve what we want. It does feel like there's big blocks in the way, because we do have Saturn retrograde that it's about to station. And when it's completely stopped, like how it is right now, it feels like we're so blocked, nothing's moving forward, everything's kind of even feeling like it's moving backwards. But on the 18th and 19th of September, Saturn will start to move forward again. So, you know, the wheels will start going in motion, but just don't give up. Like, do the groundwork, do the paperwork, do all the stuff that you need to do. It's not a time to be skipping out on ourselves, even though it's hard. So lastly, we've got balance. And I think finding a balance in everything, like communicating what needs to be said, taking responsibility for ourselves, finding time to have fun, and then also making sure we have time to get those jobs done. You know, like, finding balance in everything, like, whether it's, you know, like, expressing yourself to your partner, and then also listening, you know, like, whether it's in work or whatever area of life. But it's about finding balance, you know, even for yourself. You know, if you're, you know, taking time for yourself and to relax and have self-care, and then time to look after other people. Like, it's just about, you know, like, that giving and receiving, finding balance. So I think that's really important right now. And I think with Virgo's all about sorting it out, getting rid of what we don't want. So then when the planets move into Libra, there is balance. So, you know, like, some of the stuff that's really coming up, like some of the, you know, the issues, like, we need to be paying attention to them. Like, we also need to be checking in to see if we're being too negative, but realistically, we need to be looking at it thinking, do we need this? It's like going through your cupboard, looking at clothes that you don't wear anymore, that you haven't worn for 10 years. Like, me personally, if I haven't worn something for a year, I get rid of it, like, because I'm just obviously not going to wear it, and there's someone out there who might need it, you know, who would love to have it. So I think, you know, like, finding balance, like, you know, and then when you sort out a cupboard, then you've got room for something better, you know, instead of holding on to the old memory or holding on to something that's not functioning anymore. So it's really about finding balance at this time as well. So yes, that's it for cards, and I hope that they are helpful for you navigating this energy, because it is going to be hard. We're going to have another cosmic dumping of information, of confusion, you know, like, I don't know. I think it's going to be not so bad, but then at the same time, it's just been pretty radical the last couple of weeks, and with, yeah, Saturn stationing to go direct again, it's just like, it's a bit of a mixed bag going on. But yes, Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up the video. So yes, I hope everybody is handling this cosmic weather okay. It is pretty funky, but at the same time, it is a time of really connecting to our intuition, being spot on about things as well, especially those we care about, especially those we're connected to. It's a time of just being able to really feel what's going on. Like with Neptune being retrograde, it's a time where, you know, we can see what's real and what's not. You know, I know there has been a little bit confusion of what has felt like the truth and what hasn't, but over the next few days we will be seeing the actual truth of things. So yes, it really is a time of connecting to our intuition and trusting our intuition to some degree, you know, like trusting it from a heart space, like trusting it without, not with the old emotions attached to it and our old ways of operating and our old patterns and things that have happened in the past. We really need to just be letting go of that stuff and trusting our intuition from an open place of something, you know, of a mind frame of looking into the new. And what's happened in the past is the past. It doesn't mean it's going to carry forward. But then it's also important to change our belief systems as well, so that doesn't also carry forward into the future too. So yes, yeah, it is a really, you know, magical time, so take advantage of that. Pisces full moons, it's always good to go to the ocean. It's always good to have a bath. It's always good to really connect to your you know, spiritual self, your higher self. It's a time to spend kind of, you know, in your own space alone, you know, connecting to with who you are and what information you need to receive. So yes, that is pretty much it for me. If you would like a reading, please see my information below or at the end of the video. You can just go to my website, which is www.soulinbalance.net, and you can book a reading with me. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it. I honestly hope you all survive this full moon, and I hope it does bring some magical outcomes. You know, we have all been doing a lot of work, and, you know, especially to those who have been doing the work, you know, great things are coming. It's just a matter of just keep going, just head down and, you know, just do that work, because that's what Virgo's all about. Work. But yes, that's it for me. So thank you so much, and many soul journey blessings.